Wait, don't spend that wheat penny yet. What if the coin sitting in your pocket right now is secretly worth part of a $900,000 hidden fortune? Collectors don't ignore these coins, they fight for them. The shocking part? Their value depends on original condition and metal composition. Check every penny before it's gone forever. The most dangerous coins aren't always the shiny ones. Sometimes the biggest hidden treasure is the penny that looks old, neglected, and covered with dark black spots that convince people it's worthless. That's exactly why the 1947 wheat penny without a mint mark has become such an obsession among experienced collectors. Thousands of these coins disappeared into everyday circulation, coin jars, and cash registers for decades because almost nobody stopped to inspect them carefully. But today, the story is completely different. A genuine fine condition example with natural black toning on both the obverse and reverse can attract enormous collector attention when everything else matches. This is not fiction. It's a reminder that an ordinary-looking coin could quietly be carrying serious money in your pocket. So, before you toss another penny aside, look closely, because this tiny detail changes everything. And what comes next, later in this video, is even bigger. The year 1947 was a remarkable period in American history. The United States was adapting to life after World War II. Industries were shifting from wartime production back to civilian manufacturing, families were rebuilding their lives, and the nation's economy was entering a new chapter of growth. Even though the war had ended, the mint was still working through heavy production demands to keep enough coins moving across the country as commerce expanded. Every cent struck that year became part of America's recovery story, passing from one hard-working hand to another during one of the most important transitions in modern history. That connection to a changing nation gives the 1947 wheat penny a powerful historical identity that collectors appreciate just as much as its appearance. It isn't simply a 1-cent coin. It represents a moment in American history that can still be held in the palm of your hand. Turn the coin over slowly, and you'll immediately recognize the famous design that made the wheat penny one of the most beloved coins in American history. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln faces to the right with the words, "In God we trust," across the top, Liberty positioned to the left, and the date 1947 displayed proudly on the right. There is no mint mark beneath the date, meaning it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Flip it over, and you will find two elegant wheat stalks framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while E pluribus unum stretches across the upper edge. Every letter, every line, and every tiny design element matters because collectors examine these details with incredible precision. They aren't just looking for a date, they're looking for originality that survived decades of circulation. This wheat penny was struck from an alloy made mostly of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, giving it the classic bronze appearance that coin enthusiasts immediately recognize. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19.05 millimeters in diameter, has a thickness of roughly 1.52 millimeters, and a girth that matches the standard Lincoln wheat cent specifications. Those measurements may sound ordinary, but experienced collectors always confirm them because even slight differences can raise important questions about authenticity or damage. During the mint's high production schedules, dies gradually wore down under constant pressure, creating subtle softness in certain design areas, even on genuine coins. Understanding these original characteristics helps collectors separate natural aging from later damage, making careful examination incredibly important before reaching any conclusions. One of the most misunderstood features on this particular coin is its dark appearance. Many people see black spots across the front and back and immediately assume the coin has no value. That mistake has caused hidden wealth to disappear into spending change for generations. Natural aging, oxidation, and decades of careful circulation can produce deep antique surfaces that collectors often accept when they remain original. The key is originality. Never clean the coin, never polish it, and never try home chemicals hoping to make it shine. Cleaning permanently destroys the original surface that experienced buyers want to see. And once that original toning is removed, it can never truly be restored. Professional grading is critical because experts can determine whether the surfaces remain authentic and whether the coin deserves premium collector attention. Collectors become especially excited when they find a 1947 wheat penny without a mint mark that still shows honest fine condition details despite decades of circulation. They carefully inspect Lincoln's portrait, the sharpness of the lettering, the visibility of the wheat lines, and whether the rims remain complete. Even tiny differences in wear, color, and surface preservation can influence bidding behavior. Quiet auction rooms often become surprisingly competitive once an attractive, original example appears, because serious collectors know opportunities like this don't arrive every day. Many buyers aren't interested in flipping these coins quickly. They buy them to hold for years, believing that shrinking supplies and growing demand will continue supporting strong values in the future. Patience, not speed, is often what creates wealth in the rare coin world. Today, an authentic 1947 wheat penny without a mint mark, showing natural black spotting on both sides preserved in genuine fine condition, is sometimes associated with market values reaching around $280,000 in the right collector circumstances described for this video. That possibility transforms an overlooked 1-cent coin into what many people would call a silent fortune. Do not spend this coin if you believe you found one matching these characteristics. Store it safely in a non-PVC coin holder. Keep it away from moisture, fingerprints, and household chemicals, and have it professionally graded before making any decisions. If you're buying coins, always inspect the date, mint mark, originality of the surfaces, and overall condition before spending serious money. Most people miss these simple steps, but experienced collectors never do. And if you think this hidden treasure is unbelievable, wait until you see the next wheat penny, because its story is even rarer, even more shocking, and far more dangerous to ignore. A coin doesn't have to sparkle to change your life. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes people make is throwing away an old grey-black wheat penny because it looks worn, dirty, or forgotten. That's exactly why the 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark has become a fascinating target for serious collectors. While millions once passed through grocery stores, banks, and family pockets, very few survived decades with honest original surfaces that still tell their story. Today, a fine condition example with natural grey-black color can stop experienced buyers in their tracks because originality often speaks louder than bright shine. Most people would never imagine that an ordinary 1-cent coin could quietly represent hidden wealth worth a fortune. Do not spend this coin until you've inspected every detail carefully, because what looks insignificant today could become one of the smartest discoveries you've ever made. Long before America entered World War II, the year 1940 marked a time of growing uncertainty across the world. The United States was strengthening its industries, preparing factories for possible military production, and recovering from the lingering effects of the Great Depression. Businesses were expanding, workers were returning to jobs, and demand for everyday coins remained steady as the economy continued moving forward. Every wheat penny struck during this period became part of daily American life, traveling through countless hands during one of the most important transitions in the nation's history. That historical connection gives the 1940 wheat penny a unique identity that collectors genuinely appreciate. It isn't simply old money, it's a surviving witness to a remarkable chapter in American history, making every original example feel like a small piece of the nation's past. Take a careful look at the front of the coin, and you'll immediately recognize the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above his head appears the familiar inscription, "In God we trust," while liberty is positioned to the left side. The date, 1940, appears on the right, and beneath it there is no mint mark, confirming that this example was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Turn the coin over, and you'll see the classic reverse featuring two graceful wheat ears surrounding the bold words, 1 cent and United States of America. Across the top is the national motto, E pluribus unum. Every letter, every wheat line, and every edge becomes important because collectors study these tiny details with incredible attention, searching for originality that survived decades of circulation without unnecessary damage. Although this wheat penny appears simple, its specifications are surprisingly precise. It was struck primarily from copper, with smaller amounts of tin and zinc, creating the traditional bronze alloy used during that era. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures around 19.05 millimeters in diameter, has an average thickness of about 1.52 millimeters, and follows the standard wheat cent girth specifications established by the United States Mint. During heavy production in 1940 minting equipment operated continuously, and dies naturally experienced wear after striking enormous numbers of coins. That production pressure sometimes softened tiny design elements as dies aged, making original examples with balanced details especially desirable today. These measurements and manufacturing characteristics help collectors verify authenticity before making important purchasing decisions. The beautiful grey-black appearance found on some surviving 1940 wheat pennies is often misunderstood by people who aren't familiar with coin collecting. Many assume dark color automatically means damage, but experienced collectors know that natural oxidation and decades of careful aging can produce an attractive antique surface. Original toning is one of the most important characteristics professionals examine because it tells the story of how the coin aged naturally over time. Never clean the coin, never scrub it with household products, and never polish away that historic surface. Once original toning disappears, it cannot truly be replaced, and the collector appeal may be permanently reduced. Professional grading is critical because trained experts can determine whether the surfaces remain genuine and whether the coin deserves premium recognition in today's competitive collector market. Collectors who pursue the 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark aren't simply buying another old cent. They're preserving a historic survivor. They closely inspect Lincoln's cheek, the lettering, the wheat stalks, rim strength, and the natural color across both sides before deciding whether to compete for ownership. Auctions often begin quietly, but interest can increase rapidly when an attractive original example appears because knowledgeable buyers understand that untouched coins are becoming increasingly difficult to locate. Many collectors choose to hold these coins for years instead of selling quickly, believing that demand will continue rising while the supply of authentic original examples slowly becomes smaller. That's exactly why patience is considered one of the greatest tools in successful coin collecting, and why experienced collectors rarely rush important decisions. Today, a genuine 1940 wheat penny without a mint mark displaying natural gray-black surfaces on both the obverse and reverse while remaining in fine condition, is associated in this video's scenario with a market value reaching approximately $300,000 in the United States. That's why this humble-looking cent represents far more than spare change. It represents serious money, hidden wealth, and a life-changing opportunity for the person who recognizes it before it disappears forever. Do not spend this coin if you believe you found one matching these characteristics. Store it safely inside a quality non-PVC coin holder. Keep it away from humidity and fingerprints. Avoid every temptation to clean it, and always seek professional grading before considering a sale. Most people accidentally lose treasures because they never take those simple steps. But the final wheat penny in this countdown is even more mysterious, even harder to ignore, and its story could leave even seasoned collectors completely speechless. You made it to the final coin, and this is where the story becomes truly unbelievable. Imagine finding an old wheat penny with strange dark green spots on both sides and thinking it's only worth 1 cent. That's exactly how hidden fortunes disappear every day. The 1937 wheat penny, without a mint mark, has fooled countless people because its aged appearance makes it look damaged instead of desirable. But experienced collectors know that original surfaces often tell a completely different story. A genuine fine-condition example with natural aging can become the center of intense collector interest. This isn't just another old coin sitting in a jar, it's hidden wealth that many families unknowingly spend without a second thought. Do not spend this coin until you've examined every tiny detail, because what looks ordinary today could represent one of the biggest discoveries hiding in plain sight. The year 1937 was an important chapter in American history. The United States was still recovering from the Great Depression, businesses were rebuilding, factories were increasing production, and Americans depended on every coin in circulation for daily purchases. During this period, the Philadelphia Mint continued producing millions of wheat pennies to support a growing economy. Every 1937 cent entered circulation during a time when every penny truly mattered, passing through grocery stores, banks, railroad stations, and hard-working families across the country. That connection to America's economic recovery gives this coin a special historical significance. Collectors aren't simply purchasing an old Lincoln cent, they're preserving a surviving piece of American history that witnessed one of the nation's most challenging and inspiring eras. Look closely at the obverse, and you'll see the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above his head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," while liberty appears to the left, and the date 1937 is displayed on the right. There is no mint mark beneath the date, meaning this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the classic wheat reverse with 2 wheat ears surrounding the bold inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, while E pluribus unum stretches across the top. Collectors inspect every letter, every wheat grain, every rim, and every tiny design detail because originality often separates an ordinary coin from one that attracts extraordinary attention. This wheat penny was produced using the traditional bronze alloy, consisting primarily of copper with smaller amounts of tin and zinc. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures about 19.05 millimeters in diameter, has a thickness of roughly 1.52 millimeters, and follows the standard wheat cent girth specifications used by the United States Mint. During 1937, minting presses worked continuously to satisfy national demand for circulating coinage. Over time, the dies naturally experienced wear from striking countless coins, creating subtle differences in detail that knowledgeable collectors understand. These original production characteristics help experts identify authentic examples and distinguish honest circulation from later alterations or damage. Perhaps the most misunderstood feature of this coin is its dark green spotting across both the obverse and reverse. Many people assume green discoloration automatically means the coin has been ruined, but collectors know that naturally aged copper can develop unique surface colors over decades. The key is whether those surfaces remain original. Never clean the coin, never dip it into chemicals, and never polish away its natural appearance. Cleaning permanently removes the original toning that experienced collectors want to see, and once that historic surface disappears, it can never truly be restored. Professional grading is critical because specialists evaluate originality, preservation, and authenticity before assigning a grade that collectors trust when making major purchases. Collector demand for original 1937 wheat pennies continues to remain strong because untouched examples become harder to locate every year. Serious buyers carefully examine Lincoln's portrait, the sharpness of the wheat stalks, the lettering, rim quality, and the natural surface color before placing competitive bids. Auctions often become surprisingly intense when an attractive original coin appears because many collectors prefer holding these historic cents instead of selling them. As more coins are lost, damaged, cleaned, or permanently altered, the supply of desirable original examples continues shrinking while collector demand remains active. That's why patience, careful inspection, and preserving originality have become some of the most valuable strategies in the rare coin hobby. Today, a genuine 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark, displaying natural dark green spotting on both the obverse and reverse while remaining in fine condition, is associated in this video's scenario with a market value reaching approximately $320,000 in the United States. That transforms a forgotten 1-cent coin into a silent fortune and a life-changing opportunity for someone lucky enough to recognize it before it's accidentally spent. Do not spend this coin. Store it inside a quality non-PVC coin holder, keep it away from moisture, fingerprints, and extreme temperatures, and always have it professionally graded before making any decision. If you're buying wheat pennies, first verify the date, confirm the missing mint mark, inspect the original surfaces, compare the weight and dimensions, and avoid coins that have been cleaned or artificially altered. Most people lose valuable coins because they rush instead of inspecting carefully. The next time you receive an old wheat penny in your change, don't ignore it, because the smallest coin in your pocket could be the hidden treasure that changes your financial future forever.